that, we're having a national kind of teach-in on how the tax code has privileged the ultra-wealthy with this man.
I want to bring in quickly Stephen Moore, senior economics writer for the Wall Street Journal editorial board, former president of Club for Growth. It's great to have you, Stephen. Thank you so much.
Good morning.
When we talk about the tax avoidance industry, things like incorporating the Caymans or in Bermuda or corporations that are called tax blockers that you set up so that you can move assets through. Do you think there's anything morally questionable about engaging in that kind of behavior, just as a sort of matter of first principles before we get into the details?
Well, as long as it's not illegal. I mean, I don't think anyone's making the allegation that Mitt Romney made illegal moves to illegally pay his taxes. I mean, I just think this whole discussion, look, the United States should be the tax haven country. We were founded as a country where people could come to pay less taxes, and I think it's an indictment of our current tax system that rates have gotten so high that we've become so uncompetitive.
But rates have gotten lower.
Well, the rates have gone up, and in fact, we're going to go up, way up next year if the tax bomb goes up. So my point is, look, when you talk about this patriotic duty to raise taxes, I turn this around on all of you and say, wait a minute, all these liberals are running around the country, all these rich liberals saying, we want to pay more taxes, we want to pay more, and yet you looked at the tax returns, none of them have paid more taxes than they owe. So why are you indicting Mitt Romney for not paying more taxes than he owes, when all these liberals who say they do want to pay more taxes don't do that? Everybody from Warren Buffett to all these, these left-wing groups that have said we got to raise taxes on rich people.
Well, first of all, those people aren't running for president.
That's true.
Second of all, they're also not. I mean, there's a distinction here between what tax policy is and individual tax compliance, right? And then even within individual tax compliance.
Hold on, Chris. You have to agree, though, they're hypocrites. If they say they want to pay more taxes and they don't, that's hypocritical.
No, I don't think that's hypocritical. I think we actually disagree on this. This is like the Al Gore riding in planes issue, right? I mean, the point is that there's something called social policy. Social policy is something that you want to see put into the social contract. The reason you want to put in social contract is because it has the force of coercive law. The force of coercive law is the way that we bind each other to each other in a democratic governance, and taxes are that.
Chris, that's not true. People sign. Look, we have a military of people who are patriotic. They don't join the military because they're compelled to do so. They do it because they think it's their patriotic duty. Similarly, liberals say they think it's their patriotic duty to pay more taxes, but they don't do it. So that to me, that is an act of hypocrisy. If all the liberals who say they want to pay more taxes would do so, we could probably reduce this deficit by a lot.
You know that's a silly and innumerate argument.
No, it's not.
Of course it is.
Why wouldn't Warren Buffett pay more taxes if he says he wants to?
You think that we're going to reduce the deficit on Warren Buffett having some sort of voluntary?
Wait a minute, it's liberals who say we can reduce the deficit by taxing rich people.
But taxation fundamentally is not a voluntary undertaking, right?
No,
that's the whole point. You can't say that.
That's not true, Chris. That is not true. On the bottom line of your tax form, it says if you want to pay more taxes to reduce the deficit, you can do so, and liberals don't do it.
Getting back to
okay, but no, it's the most incredibly hypocritical things.
But you want to talk about Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett's not.
We should pay more taxes, but I bet none of you do it.
Warren Buffett's not running for president, and you want to sort of castigate unnamed liberals, right? We do have a tax return for the president. We have tax returns for the president for many years. We don't have those tax returns from Mitt Romney. And in the course of compliance, I think there really is a moral question here about is it at all shameful or indefensible if you use every single possible loophole, every single tax avoidance strategy? Is that just a squarely praiseworthy thing?
Look, I hate the tax code. I'm a flat tax guy. I literally, Chris, I think we should get rid of every single deduction and loophole and tax carve-out in the system. I think it should be incredibly simple. I think there should be no tax dodges. I think everybody should pay 19%, and we should be done with it. I've been advocating that for 25 years. Everything that you all have been saying for the last half hour has been one of the strongest cases for the flat tax I've ever heard. Get rid of all the tax deductions.
But if you got rid of all that, there's just no way that you wouldn't still